Good morning. Yep, that's right. It's me. Good morning. Is it a game today? Good morning. Is it a game today or no? Good morning. Eric, Hunter, Cool Dog, Brody, Anonymously, Shuggy King, Jerome, Potato, good morning, Hunter Road, Southern Pride, Master of Dreams, good morning, how's everyone doing? Today is the day, it's finally here. I'm so excited. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I wasn't gonna say I'm not, but I'm gonna go ahead and say I couldn't even sleep last night. I was up. I'm not gonna lie. I think I was up till about 3:30 in the morning. I could not go to sleep. I tossed and turned into bed. I got up, went out in the living room, laid on the couch, turned the TV on, watched TV for a little while, trolled on Facebook for a while. I could not go to sleep. I guess I probably went to sleep around 3 or 3:30. I was up at 5:30 or 6. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like a kid on Christmas Eve. And, you know, I've been hearing this a lot lately in the comment section, really over the last month or so. I've been hearing a lot of this. Lou, you should act like you've been there before. Well, hey, maybe this is breaking news to you, or maybe it's not. I don't know. I haven't been here before, so I'm not acting. Well, I'm not acting like I've any type of way. I don't know how to act. Look, if I said anything other than this is the most excited I've been in a long, long time about anything that didn't have to do with my family or my kids or whatever, then I would be lying. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. And I know all the Dog Nation feels the same way. And, I know there's a lot of fans of other teams that watch the Uncle Lou channel. Some of your teams have been in this position recently, in the last 10 or 15 years or whatever. Some haven't. I can't describe the feeling. If you're a fan of a team that hasn't played for a national championship, it's hard to describe this feeling. Georgia football is my passion. I live and breathe college football and UGA, and I cannot begin to describe the feeling. It was probably 2 or 3 days after the Rose Bowl ended before I think it finally sunk in that Georgia is playing for a national championship. And I know people are going to use that against me in the comment section, and that's fine. And that's why I thought about not even saying any of that. But the reality is that's just how it is for me. I can't act like we've been here before. I can't act like I've been here before because I haven't. And I'm not going to get on here and lie or not act like I'm excited or that this is the biggest game of my lifetime. Yeah, I was alive in 1980, but I was 2 years old. So in 1982 and 1983, I was 4 and 5 years old. And this is the biggest game we've played in since then. Last week's Rose Bowl game, I said this before, I think was sort of similar to the 2012 SEC championship game. We knew going into that game against Alabama in 2012 that if we won, we'd have a shot to play at the national title. And that was sort of what the Rose Bowl was last week. Win, and you get a shot at the national title. And now here we are. I've been watching the coverage on TV all day. I'm sure some of you have too. I feel like I'm hearing the same things over and over and over and over and over again now. Here they got Gus Malzahn on here. I guess he ain't got nothing to do today. I don't know. He must have been preparing for his segments on this pregame show today instead of preparing for Central Florida, but that's a different story for a different day. But anyway, thanks everybody for being tuned in. I wanted to go live today before the game. We'll try to do about an hour or so. I'll start reading some comments here in a minute. But I wanted to go about an hour or so before the game today. I was going to make like 2 or 3 videos today and all that, but I did that last week during the Rose Bowl, and then by the third quarter of the Rose Bowl, I had almost completely lost my voice. If you watch my live stream at the end of the Rose Bowl when Georgia wins, I can't even scream anymore. I mean, my voice was just completely gone. So I decided to cut back a little bit this week so that there's no problems at the end of this game. What do I expect from this game? I think this is going to be a good game. I'm not sure it can live up to the Rose Bowl. I'm not sure anything we see today has the possibility of living up to that. That was one of the greatest college football games I've ever seen, last week's Rose Bowl. But I do think this will be a good game. It's obvious. If you've been watching the coverage today, everybody's saying the same thing. Both teams are going to try to stop the other team's ground game and force the quarterback to beat them with their arm. So, I mean, I hate to sound like everybody else you've probably heard, but that's probably going to be who wins this game. Whoever is able to do what they want to do on offense, whoever is able to run the ball and whoever is able to stop the run, I think is most likely going to win this game. I like Georgia's chances. We're an underdog, no doubt. We're going up against probably the greatest college football dynasty in history. Definitely in my lifetime with this run that Alabama's been on over the last 10 years. I felt cheated when Alabama didn't make it to the SEC championship game. I wanted to play Alabama. I did not want to win the national title without having to go through Alabama. I would have taken it, don't get me wrong. But all year long, I talked about Nick Saban and Alabama and the Gumps and the average thing and the monkey on the keyboard and all that, setting up for a game against Alabama, which I thought would be in the SEC championship game. When that didn't happen, it was a little bit disappointing, but it worked out well. We get them today in the national title game. We're an underdog. And, you know, if Georgia's going to win its first national title since 1980, then honestly I wouldn't have it any other way than have to go through Alabama. I know I've been hard on Alabama this year and some of their fans and stuff like that, but the reality is Alabama is the cream of the crop in college football. Do they win the national title every year? No, but they're consistently a top 2, 3, 4, 5 team every single year for going on a decade now, which is remarkable really if you think about it, especially considering the conference that they play in. They're the benchmark and the measuring stick. And we're going to find out tonight if the Georgia Bulldogs are ready to claim a national title or if it's going to be wait till next year again. We'll find out. We're about 2.5 hours from kickoff. I literally have been crawling out of my skin since yesterday. I mean, I really don't even know how I feel other than just say I'm excited. But anyway, that's enough of my jibber jabber. Let me get in here to the comment section and see what you guys are trolling me about today. Let's see. Robbie says Dog's going to whoop Bama. I hope so. Would I be shocked if Georgia won this game by a couple of scores? No, I wouldn't. If Georgia's able to run the ball in this game, then I think this game could be over sometime in the third quarter. Georgia tends to get better as the game goes along. Will we be able to wear down Alabama's defense like we have other teams? I don't know. Probably not. You know, they have the depth and the talent on the defensive line and linebackers and stuff like that to rotate in and out throughout the game. I doubt we'll be able to wear them down like we did some other teams. But if we're able to run the ball in the first half and get a lead, then I think Georgia will be able to hang on to that lead. I don't think Jalen Hurts can throw to beat us. Now, running is a threat with Jalen Hurts, and we're going to have to keep an eye on him for sure. But I definitely think Georgia can contain him. We've had luck this year with running quarterbacks, with, you know, Nick Fitzgerald, Wimbush from Notre Dame. Even Baker Mayfield likes to run around a little bit, and he got us a couple of times. And I don't have any doubt in my mind that Jalen Hurts is going to break a couple of runs too. I mean, you know, stopping Jalen Hurts from running the ball is kind of like stopping Baker Mayfield from throwing the ball. You're not going to do it the entire game, but you got to have key stops in key situations. Just like the Oklahoma game last week, third down is always huge in big games. If you can get Alabama in 3rd and 6 plus, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, whatever, you got to get a stop there and get off the field. And the opposite is true when we have the ball. We need to stay out of those 3rd and long situations. And Alabama's going to have the exact same game plan, I'm sure. These are two similar teams. This isn't like Georgia against Oklahoma where you have a clash of two different styles. Georgia and Alabama, two teams that want to line up and run the ball down your throat. That's what they want to do. They want to punish you. They want to make you submit. They want to force you to give up in the second half. I don't think either offense is going to be able to make either defense give up, so it's going to be a question of which offense is able to convert those third downs, which offense is able to stay on the field, and which offense is able to break some big plays, whether that's throwing or running. Special teams, another thing that you hear all the time in big games, special teams could decide it. Does somebody break a long return on special teams? Is there a fumble on a punt or a kickoff? Turnovers in general, interceptions, fumbles, that sort of thing. I mean, little things like that are going to sway this game. This could be a back-and-forth type of game like we saw with Oklahoma. All the little things are going to matter in this game. Let's see. UGA need third quarter. I can't read that. Ohio State is the national champion. Seriously, they have two. Ohio State's not the national champion. I really don't even want to get into all that today about Ohio State and Central Florida. I really don't even want to. I mean, all of that is just a waste of time. Judy, we need to watch. I mean, Alabama's got playmakers. I mean, listen, you don't get a scholarship to play football at Alabama if you're not any good. That's just the reality of the situation. But another reality of the situation is that outside of Ridley, they really haven't had any success with their receivers this year other than Ridley. I think their second leading receiver has, I think, 14 or 15 catches all year. Now, does that mean they won't have any catches today? No, of course not. One of those guys could catch an 80-yard touchdown that could win the game, obviously. But Ridley is the guy that obviously you're going to want to take away, whether that's doubling him over the top with a safety or what. We'll have to see what Kirby decides to do with that. But realistically, when it comes to Alabama's receivers, Ridley is the guy that you're looking to shut down. Yeah, they've got some other guys that can make some plays, but if you look at what Alabama's done this year, Jalen Hurts tends to focus in on Ridley and ignore everyone else. We'll see how that goes today. UCF is the real champions. Yeah, right. UCF played one Power 5 team in the regular season, Maryland. They're not the champions. I mean, just come on. Not sure if new to football, potato or troll, but come on with the UCF. Roquan Smith is going to limit Jalen Hurts as a spy. I'm sure that's going to be part of the defensive plan for sure. Smith, they'll probably use a couple of different guys at different points during the game to keep an eye on him. It could even be a defensive lineman that instead of rushing the passer just sort of hangs around the line of scrimmage and shadows Hurts. I mean, you're going to see a couple of different variations of the QB spy on Georgia's defense today against Jalen Hurts. And really, we saw some of that with Baker Mayfield. If you watch the tape from the Oklahoma game, there was a lot of times where you had a guy just hovering 2 or 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, just kind of mirroring back and forth Baker Mayfield. And if it looked like he was going to tuck it and run, we'd send a guy up to hit him. And you're going to, that's what you'll see with Hurts. Now, obviously, Hurts is a much better passer. I mean, a much better runner than Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, the much better passer. But you'll see several variations of the QB spy on Hurts today, I'm sure. NFL people said Fromm is future NFL quarterback. Look, I love Fromm. He's had a great year. You can't ask for anything more out of that kid for sure. I'm so glad we have him for the next 3 years. I'm not an NFL scout. Now he's poised, and he's got the decision making and all that. He's got it up here for sure. Arm strength, I think, is something he would have to work on in terms of NFL. Not saying he can't make it there, but really, Fromm reminds me more of Aaron Murray than he does Matthew Stafford. So take that for what it's worth. That's just sort of my opinion on Fromm and the NFL. But really, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. He's going to be here for at least 2 more years, probably 3. Yes, Falcons fan, Donald Trump is going to be at the game. You are correct. Ohio State sucks. Well, I try not to trash talk that much on these live videos. I wouldn't necessarily put Ohio State in the sucks category, but they definitely did not deserve to be in the 4-team playoff. There's no doubt about that. Okay, okay. I'm just going to ignore that. Somebody just compared Jake Fromm to Tom Brady. I'm just going to ignore that. If Bama's D-line does what it did to Clemson, Fromm will have a good look at the carpet all night. Bama's defense played the best game I've seen them play last year. The problem with that, if you're an Alabama fan, is was there anyone that wasn't expecting that? Nick Saban with 30 days to prepare for Clemson and 30 days to get those linebackers and Minkah Fitzpatrick healthy. So anybody who didn't think, if you look at Alabama's best 2 games on defense all year, what were they? Florida State week 1 and Clemson last week. You give Nick Saban 30 days or more to prepare, good luck. That's all I can tell you. We'll see how they do this week with 6 days to prepare. I agree with you. If Alabama's defense played like they played last week, it's going to be very hard for Georgia to move the ball. But I could just as easily tell you that if they play like they played against Mississippi State, Texas A&M, or Auburn, it's going to be a long day for Alabama. So we'll just have to wait and see which one of those defenses shows up. My guess is that it's going to be somewhere in the middle. Uncle Lou, how nervous are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 12. But now I'm always nervous before any game. Now, obviously, I'm way more nervous for this one because of the stakes. This is a national championship game. I've never experienced anything like this before. I don't even really know how to feel. It's almost like an out-of-body experience. Most of you, if you're watching this right now, you're probably a diehard college football fan. So you probably either know how I feel if you've been in this situation before, or you can imagine how you would feel if your team was getting ready to play for the national championship for what's basically the first time in my lifetime. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I don't know how I'm supposed to act. People keep asking me, what are you going to do if you win? What are you going to do if you lose? I don't know. I never really came up with anything this week like I did last week for the Oklahoma game. Y'all remember last week I said I was so confident we were going to win that if we lose, I'll open this bottle of Coke from 1980 and drink it. Of course, we won, so I didn't have to do that. So I never even really thought about what I would do this week if we win or lose. I don't know. What do y'all think? What will Lou do if we win, and what will Lou do if we lose? Y'all tell me. What do y'all think? Harambe. Yep. You probably have to heat it up. It is good. That was Mrs. Lou. Yeah, she was gone for a little while. Just got back. Yep. Tua Tagovailoa is a better QB than Hurts. I agree 100%. I couldn't agree more. There's a video that I've been thinking about doing for a while, and I'll probably wait, I don't know, a week or so, but it's one I'll do pretty soon about Nick Saban and Urban Meyer, and if they're too hard-headed for their own good. They're both good coaches. They both recruit elite players at almost every position. But both of them think they can win national titles with running backs playing quarterbacks. I don't know if it's them being hard-headed and trying to prove a point. I don't know. I'm going to do a video on that sometime in the next week or so, but it just makes no sense. Alabama's never won a national title with a running quarterback, yet Nick Saban seems hell-bent on forcing Hurts to play quarterback. I don't understand it. I mean, Blake Sims was better than Hurts at passing the ball, and he couldn't get it done. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens tonight. But I do not think Hurts is a good quarterback when it comes to passing the ball. And I understand the whole dual threat thing, but still, the primary goal of a quarterback is to pass the ball, not to run it. Yeah, it's nice to have a quarterback that can run around a little bit, but to me, if you can't pass the ball, he's a liability. KP Dog says, even if Georgia loses, it's been a hell of a season, and I'll never forget it. I mean, I feel the same way, and I'm going to be devastated if we lose, and God only knows what I might get on here and do or say or whatever. You have to remember, fan is short for fanatic, and I've been known to overreact from time to time. I don't know what I'll do if we lose tomorrow or the next day or whatever. Once it sinks in and I come to my senses a little bit, I'll be able to get into that sort of mindset and sort of look back and say, well, we still had a good season or whatever. But I'm not even trying to think about that right now. Harambe went to troll school. My guess so far from reading the comments would be that you were probably about a D student at troll school. Master of Dreams, Jalen Hurts going to the NFL. If he does, it'll be like Terrell Pryor. I mean, he'll never play a down at quarterback in the NFL. Anybody that thinks that just doesn't understand the game of football. What's up, Stick Pig? I see you, dude. Good morning. Real talk, Lou, it's Newton's Law or whatever. For who, Carson? Newton's Law is going to apply for who? For Georgia or for Alabama? Will Saban retire after this year? No, I don't. Win or lose, I don't see Saban retiring this year. No. 9-0 UGA wins. I think this game might be a little bit more high scoring than some people think. I definitely don't think the winner is going to have single digits. It wouldn't surprise me if both teams got up into the 20s. But we'll see. Now, my dream ending, like winning would be like the ultimate. But if there's anything that's better than winning, to me, it would be winning on a hot rod last-second field goal. I would probably self-combust if that. I mean, I cannot imagine what I would do if we won this game on a hot rod last-second field goal after the battles that I fought on behalf of Hot Rod for well over a year, defending him, trying to get him a scholarship, all that kind of thing. I alienated half the Georgia fan base who didn't like him, but you know me, I didn't care. I still don't care. That would be the. I mean, I can't even imagine what I would do if that happened. 23-21 Georgia, I could see something like that. Jerome Powell, yes, you can get a shout out. Shout out to Jerome Powell. Good morning, Jerome. Wee. Good morning. Hot Rod missed field goal would be the exact opposite to me. That would be the most brutal way to lose. Let's say we're down by 2, right? And we get the ball, we line Hot Rod up for a 40-yarder, and he misses it as time expires. That would be the most brutal way for me to lose today. Blake Collins says Larry Munson be with us tonight. Yeah, Larry Munson, Mike Big Dog Woods, friend of mine, Jackie, who passed away last year, big Georgia fan. I mean, there's a lot of, when something like this happens, there's a lot of, you think about a lot of different things, fans you knew that aren't with us anymore, different things, players, things like that. I've seen interviews all day on TV today with ex-players. I mean, people from 5 years ago to people from 50 years ago. Times like this just really make you do a lot of thinking about your team and the fans and the players and, everything that goes into all that. Hail Mary, I've been there, done that before with the Tennessee thing last year, so it wouldn't hurt my feelings to skip the Hail Mary this year. Even though we lost on a Hail Mary the last time it decided a game for UJ, I would still rather be on the defensive end of a Hail Mary attempt than the offensive end. I mean, yeah, Tennessee caught that miracle in 2016 and beat us at home on that last-second Hail Mary, but the odds still favor the defense on a Hail Mary. So if it does come down to a Hail Mary, then I hope Georgia's on the defensive side with a lead when that play takes place and not the other way around. 38-35, hot rod from 55. That would be something. Lou, take your glasses off. No. Georgia getting tackled on the 1-yard line. That would be bad. Rambe, you got all kinds of accounts, huh? The Frozen Pickle, can you please shout me out? The Frozen Pickle, good morning! Yes, Uncle Lou here. Live for you on YouTube, Frozen Pickle, thank you. Yeah. Harambe wants me to eat his arm. I just ate. I don't know if you heard me tell Miss Lou that a minute ago or not, but yeah, I just ate, so won't be needing your arm. Law Tide says if UJ kicks off first, they will onside kick. I don't think they will. I don't see that happening. Kirby screwed the pooch with that in the South Carolina game and caught a lot of heat. I don't think he'll be dumb enough to try that again. If y'all aren't subscribed to Law Tide, now's a good time to do it. Win or lose, he always makes a video. He's an Alabama fan, and he's been doing this a lot longer than I have. He's the one that got me on here, actually. So if you love me, you can thank Law Tide. If you hate me, then you can hate him for getting me on here. But subscribe to his channel. He's a Bama fan, and win or lose, he'll have a video up. I don't know if he'll get it up tonight. Maybe he can let us know in the comments section. He'll either have a video up tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm sure he does one for almost every game, and he'll definitely be doing a post-game video for this one. Of course, watch Uncle Lou first, then watch Law Tide, though. Alicia, hey, Uncle Lou from Huntsville, Alabama. Roll Tide, dilly dilly. Good morning, Alicia. I think tonight it's going to be the night the roll died, not Roll Tide. Alan just ate Mexican food, so he says everyone should watch out. Okay. Law Tide says his video will be up tonight, so. My plans are to do basically what I did for the Rose Bowl. So I will be on at halftime, live, and I'll give you my thoughts, good, bad, or indifferent. Whether it's tied, whether we're up by 100 or down by 100, I'll be on here live at halftime. Those videos are usually between 5 and 10 minutes long, depending on how much bitching and moaning I have to do. And then in the fourth quarter, if the game is close, then I will live stream the end of the game like I did for the Rose Bowl. I don't know if that'll be the entire fourth quarter, the last 10 minutes, the last 5 minutes, whatever the case may be. I think for the Rose Bowl it ended up being about the last 5 minutes of regulation and then the 2 overtimes. But anyway, we'll do the same thing again today. So I'll be on here live at halftime. I'll be on here live at the end of the game if it's a close game. Close game means, one possession. If it's a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, I'll be on here. And then if for some reason it's a blowout one way or the other, or I don't get on here live during the fourth quarter, then I will be on right after the game. But most likely, I expect to be on here live in the fourth quarter like I was last week for the Rose Bowl game. So that's the plan. Alan Sarton, good morning, sir. Here's your shout-out. Phase Creep. Yeah, shout me out, please. My name is Alan Sarton. Good morning, Alan. Yeah, don't forget to watch Uncle Lou every day, Alan, like you're supposed to make you smarter and lower your cholesterol. Get you off that Lipitor, which is killing you, sir, from the inside out. That, of course, being the goal of the pharmaceutical company in this, or the pharmaceutical industry in this country, not to cure you, but to keep you just sick enough to continually need medicine. Uncle Lou, on the other hand, 100% natural cure. Thank you, Warren, for the sub. I appreciate it. You're a real USC fan, but I'm rooting for your dogs. I appreciate that, sir. Jared says UJ blocks a field goal, 38-35. Would be something if we blocked a field goal in both playoff games, wouldn't it? Hard to imagine that happening. No, but anything's possible. Of course, Alabama's kicking game is an absolute disaster and a train wreck. I can tell you right now that Alabama fans are praying to whatever God it is they worship, that this game does not come down to kicking for them, because they're just god-awful in the kicking department. S. Wood says battle of the special teams. If that's the case, Georgia wins and it won't even be close. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Go Dogs. Do you watch Alex Jones? No. I mean, I know who Alex Jones is, and he's I'm with him on some things, and I'm against him on other things. But yeah, I do know who Alex Jones is. And I watch him on YouTube sometimes. Carson says, I think we're pretty good on third down and making completions. Third downs is going to be big today because you don't want your defense to get wore out. You want your defense to get off the field. And I mentioned this earlier, but for those of you who might have just joined, for both defenses, if you get the opposing offense into third and long, you have to make a stop there and get off the field, right? I mean, you're not going to win this game with the other team converting third and longs. You got to take advantage of those situations and get off the field. That was a big problem for UGA in the first half against Oklahoma. 2 or 3 times we had Oklahoma at 3rd and 8 or longer, and they converted with big plays, a couple of screen passes, a big run. We couldn't get off the field. When you're playing these elite teams, when you have a good play on first down, a good defensive play on first down, a good defensive play on second down, and you're forcing that offense into 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 or longer, you have to make a play on that down. You've got to be able to get off the field. And the same thing is true on offense. You've got to stay out of those 3rd and longs. So for Georgia and Alabama both, you're going to see a lot of running the ball today. Avoid negative plays. You don't want to go from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 12. Your odds of then getting a first down on that possession just decreased dramatically right there. 2nd and 8 is miles apart from 2nd and 12. So you got to avoid those types of situations when you have the ball. That's for both teams. I mean, both these teams are going to want to do the same thing today. Run the ball, play action pass, take a few deep shots here and there. And that's another thing I think could sway this game one way or the other, okay? You don't want Hurts. Hurts is going to get some runs. He's going to convert some first downs, no doubt. You have to avoid the 40-yard Jalen Hurts run if you're Georgia's defense. You cannot give that up. If you're Alabama's defense, you have to give up the 40, 50, and 60-yard, tailback run, whether it's Chubb or Michelle, and you've got to avoid, the 30, 40, 50-yard pass to Wims, Godwin, Ridley, or Hardman, or whatever. I don't think there'll be a ton of big plays. Look, it's not going to be anything like what you saw last week in Oklahoma, where almost every time somebody touched the ball is a 40-yard gain. It's just not going to be that type of game. If a team can get 3 or 4 explosive plays in this game, that they're going to be in a pretty good position to win this game in the fourth quarter, in my opinion. Christian Najevi says Alabama's going to win, obviously, 35-30. Please. Everyone has an opinion. Natty Back Steve wants to know, who's a bigger homer, Kirk Herbstreit for OSU or Paul Feinbaum for Alabama? Paul Feinbaum for Alabama is the biggest homer on TV. He doesn't even try to hide it. Kirk Herbstreit at least tries to hide it. Now, anybody with any sense can see right through it, but Paul Feinbaum doesn't even try to hide it. My dad's not commenting anymore because they rarely get recognized, even though they're really cool comments. Well, I am sorry to hear that, Dad, and I can assure you that you're not getting ignored on purpose. You raised me way better than that. Death Row, this game going to be a lot of 3 and outs. So you're probably right. And that's why I think big plays are going to be so important. I'm not sure you're going to see very many 12, 13, and 14 play drives in this game. You know, you're going to be looking at, like you mentioned, a lot of 3 and outs, a first down and a punt. And really what you want when you get the ball is maybe a first down, an explosive play, another first down, and a field goal would be a successful drive in this game, right? What's uglier, Florida's alternate uniforms or Jalen Hurts' dyed hair? I'm going to go with Florida's alternate uniforms if you're talking about those Ninja Turtle-looking uniforms that they wore earlier this year. Those things were god-awful. I hope they burn those. They can bury those right next to Georgia's uniforms that we wore against Boise State 6 or 7 years ago. Spencer says, how will Georgia's running game be today, Uncle Lou? Won't be what you saw against Oklahoma. I think if we can get anywhere close to 200 on the ground, combined, I'm not talking about Nick Chubb gets 200 or Sony Michel gets 200. I think if Georgia can get anywhere near the 200 mark on the ground, then that's pretty good news for UGA. Roll Tide says they'll have 2 backs over 100 yards and Hurts throws for 150 easily. If you do that, you most likely won the game. So. Grant F. says, Bama by 20, go Vols. Yeah, you know what I've noticed? There's a lot of Tennessee Vol Tide fans coming out of the woodwork lately. Man, how times have changed, right? No one used to be worried about Georgia or even care about Georgia. It used to be everyone rooted against Alabama, right? Because they were the big boy on the block. Now you got Tennessee fans, Florida fans, even Auburn fans rooting for Alabama. That really tells you a lot about where the SEC is headed right now. The tide is shifting. Play on words for you there. But the tide is shifting. Does that mean Georgia will definitely win today? No, but the tide is shifting. Other fan bases know it. These commentators know it. The sports journalists know it. The tide is shifting. When the day arrives that Tennessee and Florida fans, or Tennessee especially, when the day arrives that Tennessee and Auburn fans are rooting for Alabama in a national title game, you're doing something right if you're UGA. So it warms my heart to see all these new Tennessee Vol Tide fans running around everywhere. So thank you for that, sir. That was something I wanted to mention and I had forgot. So thank you for bringing that to Uncle Lou's attention. You're a scoundrel and a gentleman. A Vol Tide is a Tennessee fan who got an Alabama hat for Christmas so that they could root against, or so that they could root for Alabama in the national title game. They're Tennessee fans, but right now they're Alabama fans. They're Vol Tide fans. I mean, the East, and I'm an SEC homer, right? So you already know I have sort of that group mentality or whatever when it comes to college football. I rooted for Florida in the SEC championship game against Alabama because I wanted the East to win. So I don't really understand Tennessee or Florida or South Carolina or Missouri or Kentucky rooting for Alabama in this game. I always root for the SEC against non-SEC, and I always root for the East over the West. That doesn't mean y'all have to do that. That's just my opinion. But it just tells me a lot about the sort of the state of mind of opposing fan bases. They're scared of UGA. They know what's coming. Kirby Smart is like Dr. Frankenstein, and he's building a monster in Athens, Georgia. People know that, and they think it's just a matter of time, and they want to delay that inevitability. And they feel like if Georgia wins today, that's it, and Georgia's getting ready to go on some epic run, which you're probably right. They don't want that to happen, so they're lowering themselves to the point of rooting for Alabama. So that's sort of the state of where we're at right now in the SEC. No vacancy. Where are you at? Where you at? Where you at? No vacancy. Vol fans are the new Browns fans. Well, Haslam. That's all you need to know. The owner of the Browns is the biggest Tennessee booster on the face of the planet. Haslam. So. What does that say? Playboy Mark. Good morning, I guess. I don't know. Master of Dreams is rooting for Alabama. Well, your admin privileges just got revoked. Thanks for playing along. Bubba Brown says, where's that 1-8 moron WDB hiding? Yeah, he's, I don't know. You know what? He may have moved on to basketball now. I guess he's going to, now basketball season, he probably done moved on and talking about that now. Which Georgia's off to a pretty good start. Took a tough loss to Kentucky the other day. Voltards actually beat Kentucky the other day, which was a minor miracle. They're ranked. Tennessee is. Georgia, I think, will be ranked if they can put 2 or 3 wins together. We're like, what are we, 11-2, 11-3, or 12-2? So I mean, something like. I mean, we're off to a good start. We'll see how we do now that conference play has started. Where's my Tennessee mixtape? What Tennessee mixtape? Talking about that shit-kicking music that General Voltar dances to? The game's at 8 o'clock Eastern. So, and I'm not going to be streaming the game. This is just a pregame show here. But I'll be back on at halftime of the game, and then I'll be back on in the fourth quarter of the game. I don't know if y'all are watching the pregame coverage on TV, but Kirby's walking around the field now. I guess the team is probably out there doing like their initial walkthroughs and warm-ups and things like that. Kirby's got a suit on for this game, a suit and tie. We'll see if he changes when he comes out for the game, because he doesn't normally wear a suit and tie on the sideline. So we'll see if he changes for the game. But right now he's walking around the field with a suit and tie on. I think it's the first time I've ever seen him in a suit and tie. Georgia 22, Alabama 17. That's a realistic sounding score, even if you flip-flopped it. I don't mind people picking Alabama to win. I just laugh when they get on here and say like, 112-2 Alabama, woo, and and then they log off and go make out with their sister. I mean, come on. Uncle Lou's TV is back. Good morning. I hope I don't have to break you today. The game comes on ESPN at 8 o'clock. Falcons and Eagles. That's going to be a good game, I think. I haven't been very high on the Falcons this year. And I don't know if y'all remember, but I actually picked a couple of weeks ago, I picked the Rams to make the Super Bowl. Well, that didn't work out too well because they lost to the Falcons last week. And so I haven't been very high on the Falcons, but I actually think the Falcons have a chance to beat the Eagles next week. I don't really like that matchup if I'm an Eagles fan. We'll see. Drink the 1980 Coke. If we lose, I'll drink. Okay, I guess if we lose, I'll drink the Coke. No, it's a funeral. Alabama's dynasty's dead, so that's what the funeral is. Oh, the game won't start till 8:45? Oh, geez. Okay. Man, Bass Dog, I am so happy to hear that. He says since he started watching Uncle Lou every day, his cholesterol's gone down, but his blood pressure is through the roof. Well, that's probably, the blood pressure is probably not so much from watching Uncle Lou as it is from watching the Georgia Bulldogs, because I suffer from the same condition. But keep up the good work, though. Vikings Saints prediction. It's hard for me to pick against Drew Brees. I know the Vikings. Who's their quarterback now? I mean, they played second and third string quarterback this year, right? Is it Case Keenum? I mean, I can't even keep up. It's hard for me to pick against Drew Brees. The Saints are playing pretty good right now. I don't know. I don't think I can make a pick on that one right now. I know the Vikings had a really, really good regular season. I'm going to have to hold off on that one and look into that one some more. Next time UJ loses, you have to drink the Coke. See you in 4 years. Wouldn't that be something if they went on a run like that? All right, if Georgia loses, I will drink this Coke live here on YouTube after the game. All right, 1980 National Championship Edition Coke bottle, now 38 years old. But I'm pretty sure that Coke is safe, just like it was last week. I expect a win for my dogs today. I just feel like this is the dogs' year. And I probably anybody in my position, I guess, would say that, right? Probably Alabama fans think the same thing. It's just our year. I don't know. I mean, that miracle Terry Godwin catch against Notre Dame, and then Hot Rod hits a field goal to win it. We lose to Auburn, but then we get a shot at a rematch in the SEC championship game and just blow them away. Down 17 points at one point to Oklahoma, down 14 at halftime, come back, take the lead. Oklahoma gets the lead late. We tie it up, then win in double overtime because of a blocked field goal. I mean, I just feel like things are going Georgia's way this year, and I think it's going to continue tonight, and Georgia picks up their first national championship in a long, long time, since 1980, as I've been reminded probably 2 or 3 million times over the course of this season. Let the dog sample the Coke first. I can't do that because if it really does something bad, that Coke, I would be in big trouble if I got the dog sick. Some of the people around here might care less if UNCLELOU got sick, but if the dog got sick, they'd be upset. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Do I like the Vols or Gators better? I don't like either one of them, but I obviously hate the Gators more. That's just more of a, that's just more of a traditional rival for Georgia. But I will say over the last few years, it's been a lot more fun to interact with Tennessee fans than it has Florida fans. I don't really know why that is. There's a lot more Tennessee fans around the UNCLELOU show than there is Florida fans, and maybe some of that is my fault. Maybe I've just made way more Tennessee videos than I have Florida videos, so I've just attracted more Tennessee fans. I'm not sure, but I've had more fun with the Tennessee fans than I have the Florida fans. But in terms of like just a bigger rival or whatever, most people would tell you Florida is Georgia's biggest rival. And I like the Tennessee fans that I've met on here and Facebook and Twitter, in different places. They get it, I mean, there's still a few that get their feelings hurt or whatever, or maybe they see their first UNCLELOU video and they don't really get it. But most of the Tennessee fans who have stuck around and watched more than 1 or 2 UNCLELOU videos, they kind of get it, and they don't agree with me, obviously, but, they at least appreciate what I do and, my passion for the game. And, once they sort of figure it out, they're able to enjoy the videos. And really that's the point. I mean, yeah, I do enjoy pissing y'all off sometimes, but it's really just entertainment. Rocky Raccoon, good morning, sir. Camilla Overstreet, how about them dogs? You tell me. How about them? I think they're going to get a win tonight. I think it'll be a close one. I think both teams will score in the 20s, so maybe a little more high scoring than some people are predicting. But I think Georgia pulls one out. Bobby Boy, what if Butch Jones crashes the halftime show and steals the trophy? Is it a life championship trophy? If not, he's not interested. He only wants life championship trophies. I guess nobody wants to hire Butch Jones, from what I've heard, too. I read somewhere that he's considering taking a high school job, so I guess his phone's not ringing with a whole lot of job offers. Goes to Vert Russell, former assistants 0-11 versus Saban. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Some real juggernaut Will Muschamp teams, some juggernaut Jim McElwain teams. So, yeah. Saban requested the trash can. Saban, look, Saban wouldn't do that. There's just no way. But thank you, Alex. Go Dogs. It's going to be a good one. UJ 3-0. That's what Jared predicts. Not that I would be mad if that's what ended up happening. I just I think both teams are going to score a little bit more than that. Maybe not a whole lot, but a little bit more. Adam, good morning, sir. Adam's another Alabama fan. He's a good guy, though. Oh, I know Saban's not scared of anybody. Even in the dumbest trash talk videos I've ever made, I would never get on and say Saban was scared. Saban's definitely not scared. Kurt King, good morning. Original OG member of Team Asshole. Good morning, Kurt King. Brody says he'll bet anything there'll be a special teams touchdown. It seems like I talk every week about Georgia being due for a special teams touchdown, so I'm going to talk about it again. Now, Alabama's got a pretty good punter, but can Nicole get loose and break one? I mean, that would be – you talk about turning the game around, momentum and things like that. I mean, something like that could really be the difference in this game. And, I mean, I'll hold my breath every time that dude touches the ball. He's lightning in a bottle. Who knows? Maybe today's the day he gets one. We'll see. I mean, there definitely is not a better time than today. CC Bull, can you make a video if Georgia wins, like memories of 2017, 2018? Yeah, now that would be something that would take me a while. I would have to work on that over the course of a week or so. I would have to, put clips together from a lot of different, basically 6 months worth of videos or whatever. But I think I did that last year, even though we had an average year, 8-5 or whatever. I think I went back and made a video that included like a couple of minutes from each game or whatever, and I'm sure I will do something like that again for this year, whether we win or lose. Jeremy Pruitt is Jesus, and Fulmer is the orange god. This according to the ghost of Irk Russell. I'm disappointed in you, Irk. You were a damn good dog, sir. You should know better than to speak that blasphemy. For the love of God, Nicole, run one back. I agree. I mean, it's time. Joe Gator, Lou, scale 1 to 10, how damn excited are you, bud? I can't you weren't here in the beginning. Now, you're a fan of a team. You've been in this situation before, Joe, in your lifetime, probably a couple of times, being a Florida fan. I never have. I couldn't sleep last night. I was up till 3 or 4 in the morning. Finally went to sleep for a couple hours. Got up at about 5:30 or 6. Been up all day. I mean, I cannot put into words, what I feel. And even Alabama fans, I don't think. Alabama fans probably can't even remember what it's like to be a Georgia fan right now. I mean, now in 2009, was it, when Saban made his first trip to the national title game with Alabama? That's probably how Georgia fans feel today. It's how Alabama fans felt in 2009, because it had been a long time for Alabama when they went to their first natty game in 2009. What it had been, 17, 15 years? Something like that. They won it in 92, right? And then they didn't win it again until 2008. So what is that, 16 years? Anyway, so, I mean, I almost don't even know how to feel, kid in the candy shop, an 8-year-old on Christmas morning. I mean, I'm so excited I can't stand it. People keep asking me, what are you going to do if you win? I have no idea. What are you going to do if you lose? I have no earthly clue. I mean, the different emotions, and I mean, I'm always sad at the end of football season because it's over, but this could end up being the greatest season of Uncle Lou's lifetime. I was alive, and I was born in 78, so, I was alive in 1980. In 81 and 82, Georgia had really good years, and even 83 was a good year. But, you know, I've never experienced anything like what I've experienced this year with Georgia football. I really can't put it into words. I'm so ready to get this game started and just see what happens. Will Feinbaum hop on UJ bandwagon if Georgia wins? I don't think so. I think the fans of his show and the callers of his show would eat him alive if he did that. I mean, he's a well-known Alabama homer, so I don't think there's any way he can get away from that now. He's too well-known. $2,000 ticket is going to be suck worse to UJ fans at the game if UJ loses. Well, it's going to suck if UJ loses for UJ fans, whether you're at the game or not, regardless of what you paid for the ticket, whether you got it for $200 from the school or whether you paid $3,000 and bought it secondhand or whatever. It's going to suck regardless. But for a lot of people, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Even for a lot of Alabama fans. I guarantee you there's Alabama fans at this game who have never been to an Alabama national title game before. Now, there's a lot, I'm sure, that have been to every one over the last 9 years. But there's a lot, too, that this is their first one. And it's going to suck for whichever fan base loses, whether you're at the game or not. I wouldn't not go to the game because I was afraid of losing. I still, it's an experience of a lifetime to go to a game like this, win or lose. It's better to leave any game a winner than it is a loser. But it's not like I don't think anybody's choosing not to go to this game because they're afraid of how they'll feel if they lose. I hate that it's on Monday, too, Walter White. It doesn't make any sense to me. I really think college football needs to look at what they're doing with the entire bowl season. I think this game should be played last weekend. And how they do that, they can figure that out. They would obviously have to move the playoff games back a week. But, I mean, you had NFL playoffs starting this weekend. That's all anybody talks about, really, is the NFL playoffs. You turn it to SportsCenter and all that all weekend long. That's all they're talking about is playoffs. The game sort of gets buried behind that on all your major sports outlets. Now, today, it's been everywhere on every ESPN channel. It's all they've talked about is this game tonight. But it does suck that it's on Wild Card Weekend in the NFL. It sucks that it's on a Monday. I feel like they need to look into it. There's a lot of dead time between the championship games, the first weekend of December, and January 8th. It seems like it would be a way to just move everything up a week and get this game taken care of closer to New Year's as opposed to, a Monday, January 8th. So I agree with you there. Stick Pig, good morning. Woo! Yeah, I can't pronounce. What is that? Blalata 21. There's a lot of people that are going to be in your same situation tomorrow, whether it's school, work, whatever. There's going to be a lot of people that are up till midnight and 1 in the morning tonight watching this game that then have to get up at 5, 6, or 7. I have to get up at 5:30 tomorrow morning. I don't care if Georgia wins. I'm liable to stay up all. I doubt I'll be able to. I may not be able to sleep tonight, win or lose. I have to be up at 5:30. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I would prefer this game be on the weekend, but it is what it is. And I'm not just watching it because it's Georgia. I've watched, I've watched every playoff game and every national championship game for as long as I can remember. Even though Georgia's not in them. I've always complained, too, that it's on a Monday. So, I mean, it is what it is. Stupid Production says Georgia sucks. Yeah, I mean, at worst, they're the second-best team in America, so they really should be ashamed of themselves. Saban crosses his legs when he sits. Yeah, he uses a squatty potty too. Saban uses a squatty potty. Not to take a dump though. He uses it to stand on so he can reach the sink to wash his hands. Lou, look up the 1998 BCS conspiracy theory. I don't like reading these college football or even NFL conspiracy theories. I don't believe any of this stuff is rigged. Do they get every decision right? Do they always make the correct call? Are the referees perfect? Is the committee, 100% accurate every year? Was the BCS get it? Did the BCS computers get it right every year? No. But I refuse to believe, and I'm not even going to give any credence or credibility to any of these conspiracy or rigged rumors, because it would take too much of the fun and excitement out of this game for me, and I'm not gonna. I would rather it be true, and the old ignorance is bliss thing. I would rather it be true and me not know than it be fake and me spend half my time reading a bunch of conspiracy theories to the point where I get myself so worked up, because it doesn't take much to get me worked up. So anyway, I'm going to end this and go get ready for the game. What are y'all eating for the game? I made a stew. It's been cooking all day. I already ate some of that. I'm going to make some nachos too. And then I got some mozzarella sticks in there. And what else did I get? Oh, jalapeno poppers. Do y'all like those things? I love jalapeno poppers. I love jalapenos in general, though. I could almost just eat like a handful of jalapenos. That's how good they are. But yeah, jalapeno poppers with cream cheese. None of that yellow. You can get them with the yellow cheese. That's nasty. Don't do that to yourself. Get the real ones with the cream cheese. Jalapeno poppers with the cream cheese in them. Mozzarella sticks, nachos. You got some stew in there. Of course, I got plenty of Coke and root beer. Yeah. So that's Uncle Lou's plan. I will see y'all at halftime. If you're a Georgia fan, I'm with you 100%. Uncle Lou's got your back. Let's go out and get this win and bring home this national title. First one in 38 years. Bring it home to Athens, and we can brag for the rest of the offseason that the Georgia Bulldogs are national champions. If you're an Alabama fan, good luck to your team. I hope it's a good, clean game, no injuries. Hope the referees don't have to decide this game with boneheaded calls, missed calls, or stupid calls. Good, clean game. And may the best team win. Uncle Lou will be back at halftime, and I will see you guys then. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and continue to have a great morning.